Hi everybody, thanks for clicking on the video. I hope you can hear me. Got something today from Amazon. I'm going to do a quick unboxing right now, and then this is going to be the intro for a video that I do for both YouTube and Amazon, because I haven't seen any reviews of this. So let's go ahead and we'll do an unboxing real quick, okay? Alright, so I have my SOG multi-tool. I can use that as an unboxing knife. And this is an interesting item that I thought would make a good unit for me to review on my channel. So let's go ahead and we'll open it up. And here it is. It is the Sylvania turntable with USB encoding. And I believe I'll put the model number in the show notes. I know what website it's on, and it's like the little it's like the old Audio Technica Sound Burger. Folds over. The turntable is 33 and 45. I'm going to test it out, see if it's worth it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with it if I decide to keep it, okay? And then also, I bought this to go with it. It's a Fond Steel replacement stylus, because I'm pretty sure this one is a standard Crosley type stylus with a plastic cantilever. So we're going to open this up and look at it, and then after we've looked at it, we'll test it out kind of extensively, okay? Back in a minute. So let's go ahead and see what we can see about it. I don't know where to start unboxing it. It's much smaller and lighter than I thought it was going to be. But I don't see where the, oh, there it is right there. Let's get the knife. I'll just sit down. I'm not as good as Mr. Lou from Unboxing Therapy. This is actually, I think, my first unboxing on YouTube and Amazon. So let's go ahead and open it up. This knife is supposed to be sharp. Alright, so now we're going to open it. This side. Alright. There is a USB cable that goes with it. This is supposed to be able to be used with USB encoding, as they said. Nothing left in the box, yes. There is a mini CD and an instruction book, probably in multiple languages. Anything else? No? Alright, so this is the unit itself. It's packed in this plastic bag, and it just comes out. It's an interesting little device. This deal right here, which is nothing on it. It's got, oh, it's got a platter mat that's warped. I don't think that'll fit the operation of the turntable. This, pick the stylus up and lock it down. This is the tone arm, obviously. It has, let's see what it's got for a stylus. Well, it's got a better stylus than I thought. Looks like a metal cantilever. This is a 45 adapter for you. I don't have any 45s anymore, so I got to get some This here is the speed, this here is the on and off switch and the volume control. This really doesn't do anything. It's just a cover. On the back, it's got nothing. And then along the side, it's got the 3345 switch. Let me bring it in a little closer. It's got the 33 and 45 switch. It's got a USB or battery power switch to route the power. It's got an earphone jack and a USB port. The old Audio Technica Sound Burger, I got it in purple because I like purple. The Audio Technica Sound Burger had something above the spindle to hold the record in place. This does not, so I expect there's going to be some wobbling. The unit takes 4 AAA batteries, and there are 2 trim pots right here for, out of the light, there are 2 trim pots right here for 33 and 45 speed control. I'm probably going to need to use those too. Let's see if it comes with batteries or not. No, of course not. I'll have to provide my own. So I am going to be back and we'll do some testing with it, okay? See you in a bit. Alright, so here we are. We're going to get to the actual review and some testing. I've been using this Sylvania now for about 6 hours with LPs. I don't have any 45s, and I'm really enjoying it. You've got to remember that I grew up in the 60s and 70s when we didn't have digital, we didn't have tapes, things like that didn't start hitting until the 80s. So all we really had for a long time were records and portable tapes that we made ourselves, and they weren't stereo for the most part. The Sylvania echoes the Audio Technica Sound Burger from the 80s. It also is a knockoff of the, and I'm going to say knockoff because I think they share the same components. It's a knockoff of the Crosley Revolution. Crosley Revolution has 2 versions. One is slightly better than the other one. The current one is a lot like this. When you open this up, you see that it's just a standard record player. We'll go over some of the features. I'll flip it up so you can see it better. Alright, so here's the whole unit itself. It has a straight tone arm. It has a ceramic cartridge, and it looks like the cartridge could be removed and replaced with something better. I don't think so. I haven't looked at the instruction manual yet. The actual cartridge itself is a 793 D7. I have a Fondsteel 793 D7M because I thought this one was going to be a regular Crosley stylus. Turns out this is almost the same as the Fondsteel. This one has a metal cantilever instead of plastic. It's very important to me. I'm not a vinyl snob like I continually point out to people, because I come from that time when we treated our records pretty badly. So if they play, they play. That's great, as far as I'm concerned. But the sound and everything on this is perfectly adequate to repair speakers. It does have a speaker built in. I'll show you that when we get around to the side. It comes with a turntable mat, and honestly, I don't know if you need this or not. It came kind of folded over in shipping. I've managed to flatten it out a little bit more, but honestly, the whole turntable itself is a little smaller than a regular record label. So your record, not even the end grooves are sitting on this. So you could have this and it would be perfectly fine. This folds down so it's out of the way of the record. That's kind of convenient. It does have a 45 adapter in case you were wondering. I don't have any 45s like I said, so I'm going to have to get some and do another video. This is the rest area for the tone arm. The record player does have auto start, so but it doesn't have auto stop. It doesn't turn off at the end. What I do like is that when you turn off the motor, it stops on a dime. It's very good, I think. That's a good feature to have, I think. Let me go ahead, turn it around. Well, actually, let me show you something else here too. This is not even a dust cover. This is just something to protect the stylus or the tone arm when you're in transit. It should lock down, I think. It's kind of loose. If you turn it over, it invariably just swings out. You can just about get to the on-off switch. These hinges are, they're smooth. They're not tight. All in all, it's solid plastic. It's very good construction for what it is. Let me go around. There's nothing on it. On the bottom is a battery compartment. It takes 4 AA's. And here are 2 trim pots. Right here, I believe this one is 33. This one is 45, although I haven't tested them out yet. It's playing perfectly fine. And I don't want to mess with it. I believe a speaker fires down at the table, or these are air vents, one or the other. I don't know for sure. Let me go ahead and turn it around for you. Right here is the 45-33 control. Right here is a way to change the power from USB to battery. So you can run it on a charger. You just need a charging or a wall wart. Here's the earphone jack. Here's the USB input. It does come with the cable, so it's the USB B lead to standard USB. That's about it. It's very bare bones. And as far as anything else is concerned, I will grab an album and we'll just start playing. Okay, here's something that should put the vinyl snobs screaming into the night. The stylus pressure on this that I'm currently weighing on my little scale is 5.68 grams. That's above the 3 to 5 grams recommended for this stylus. For the occasional use, it's not enough to damage your records. Again, don't use this thing as your main turntable. So we're going to see what we can get away with the copyright police. This album right here, the Academy Award winners, Days of Wine and Roses, Lawrence of Arabia, and other outstanding motion picture themes. I'm going to play one that I think they're not going to get too mad about. Let me see. The love song from Marlon Brando's version of Mutiny on the Bounty, because I don't think MGM or Warner Brothers now, who owns the MGM library, gives a darn. So we'll see. And then one other thing I wanted to let you guys know before we started here. Let me get over here. Before you start playing records, for crying out loud, let's get it really close here. For crying out loud, take this, well, if you can see my hairy hand, take the stylus cover off. There we go. So now it's ready to play a record, and I'm just going to start it from behind here. Actually, let me get up and go over there and do it right. So it's track 3 on here, I believe. Expert Cueing by yours truly. It's a little But as you can see, or hear, the volume is really, when you get down here, barely audible. But when you turn it off, it stops on a dime. Whoops, there we go. That's a good way to ruin the record. This plays pretty well. And like I said, the actual platter itself, barely big enough to cover the label and the end groove, so you really don't need it. Let me put this away, and we'll be right back. Alright, what you have to remember about the speakers that I have, I've got a couple of these Logitech things. I don't know if you can see the other one, but there's one right there. Got a couple of these Logitech things going on. And let me bring the other one out in the front so you can see it a little better. There we go. So, what you got to remember about these things is that they've got some ground hum already, and then the tone arm has some ground hum for some reason. I do not know why, but I'm going to plug it in. We're going to test with a camera audio too, just to see what the deal is. Now, to get a pleasant sound with this, turn this to about where you can't hear it anymore, and then use the volume control on speakers to get your level right. Now, I don't know if this happens with all speakers, just the ones that I've got, so let's adjust it up a little bit so we can hear, and then we will cue it up. Okay, so now we're going to test with this album right here. This is My Son the Folk Singer by Alan Sherman. If you don't know who Alan Sherman is, he was basically my generation's Weird Al. He did parody songs and things like that. He was very funny. He also did voices. He did The Cat in the Hat and, you know, some other stuff for 70s TV. So I'm going to use him. I'm going to play, let me see, flip it around here, let me see what I'm going to be playing. The Streets of Miami, which is a very funny song. So let me go ahead and get it queued up for you. Alright, here we go. Expert cueing.
I wandered out on the streets of Miami. I said to myself, this is some fancy town. I called up my partner and said, hello, Sammy. Go pack up your satchel and mosey on down. I got me a bunk in the old Honey Plaza with breakfast and dinner included, of course. I caught 40 winks on my private piazza. Then I rented a Pinto from Hertz Rent a Horse. Rented a Pinto from Hertz Rent a Horse. My partner flew down on a non-scheduled airline.
Well, you guys get the idea.
You
It's a
never
little
did
bit of a long
see
song,
such a pale look.
but it plays pretty well with speakers if you do it right. Like I said, these speakers aren't the greatest ones in the world. What we're going to do now is we're going to do like a headphone test, and the best way to do a headphone test is to do directly into the camcorder. So we'll try that next. So the next thing we're going to listen to is this. It's Rhapsody in Blue by Stanley Black on piano, conducting the London Festival Orchestra. This is a good stereo tester, but although I've never heard it, I've heard this is a really good version of this. You are going to hear this the first time I hear it. I'm going to plug my attenuator cable into the microphone input of my Sanyo Zacti, and we'll cue it up, and we'll listen to about 60 seconds worth, okay? Hold on. Okay, I just played back a little bit for myself over the camera speaker, and it sounds like I got it. I won't know it's stereo or good stereo until I get it into the videos. So hopefully it'll work for you guys, or that did work for you guys, and you get an idea of what the actual headphone output will sound like. Okay, we're going to go on to features now, and what works and what doesn't. Okay, gang, I've taken the batteries out of the Sylvania. They are right there. This is the power cord that comes with it. It's got a choker on it, so it looks like it's not only to filter sound between the computer, but also to do something about the power. So I'm going to put the battery cover back on the battery compartment right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to fire this thing up. Let me hook it up. I'll be right back. Okay, gang, I've got the USB cable hooked in all the way over to that Nokia wall wart over there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a record and I'm going to fire it up. So we'll be back in a second. Yes, that's right, gang. We're going to use the 8 Seasons of Chromalox because I can't get a copyright strike with it. I want a copy on an eBay auction, and this one is a very nice, very well preserved copy. There's no warps, and it's extremely clean. So it's on USB power right now. Let's see what happens.
Cold wind, let me hear you whine. Wild world, you're a friend of mine. You've been a long time falling down. And it's good to see you hanging round my door. If you've never in your life been told before, most of us at one time have been cold before. All the frozen moments that we've known. I'm going home. I'm going home. And it's good to see you hanging round my door. If you've never in your life been told before, most of us at one time have been cold before. All the frozen moments that we've known. I'm going home. I'm going home.
So there you have it. It plays on USB power. Now, to be completely fair, what I just saw was this. Let me unhitch from the camcorder. Or let me unhitch the camcorder from the tripod real quick. And if I take the record off, you can see down here that even when you're hooked up to USB, you still get some power. Oh, power does go out. Okay, before it was just there was some light there, but I guess it hangs around there. You can press this button to put it on USB power. Now it's powered up. So my speakers still they sound like crap. So forgive the speakers, but yeah, this was a successful run. Now we're going to answer a question that's been going around on Amazon for a while. Can this thing run on a Macintosh? Because almost every answer that has been given says no, it cannot, because they only know that it has software for the PC. So let's go ahead. I'll get my MacBook Air out and we'll hook it up and we'll see what happens. Okay, so one of the most frequently asked questions on Amazon was, does this thing work with a Mac? And obviously the people that answered no don't have one, so they never really got a chance to try it. I have the USB cable plugged into the turntable. I have my MacBook Air. It's on battery mode, so it doesn't find my Mac. So let's see what happens. I can find the USB port. There it is. Now, it's not like Windows. It's not just going to auto-detect it. So what we have to do is we have to go onto the Mac and see. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a screencast of this because it's a whole heck of a lot easier. So I will be right back on the screencast. Okay, so here we are on my computer. I've just hooked up the turntable to it with USB. Now we're going to see what happens. So we got to go to the sound preference, and it should show up there. Let's see. USB PNP audio device. That's probably it right there. But we're changing around. So USB PNP audio device. Let's unplug it and see what happens. That was me unplugging the turntable, so the turntable definitely is seen by the Mac. All right, so now what we're going to do is this. We're going to go into Audacity, which is on the CD that you get with the turntable. Let's make it full screen. Now we should say what the audio device input is going to be. Stereo recording, and we're going through the built-in output. So if I hit record and then start the turntable, we should get ChromaWox coming in, and ChromaWox is coming in. I've got the turntable line hooked up about halfway, so it's pegging at the top, but that's just what I want.
Ever notice how fresh and clean and wonderful cold can be when you're
And you get to monitor it over the speaker on the turntable.
that helps you love cold. It's a smooth, quiet that brings the
So we'll just let it record, and then I'm going to come back. So we're back, and we got it recorded. Let's play it. That's just a raw recording, ladies and gentlemen. That is not enhanced in any way.
The season now is cold and white, and all the trees are bare. The grass is brown and flowers down, but I don't seem to care. 'Cause even though my toes
You could
get
probably
red
do this
when I walk to the store,
through a straight
I
through
know
audio
there's
cable
heat for my poor feet,
into
and
your
cold means even more.
you could probably do this into your computer directly with a straight through audio cable, male on one end and male on the other. That's how I prefer to do these things. But the only problem that I have is the ground hum. But once the record plays, you can see that here that it's not. You can see that the ground hum isn't that prevalent. So, but it does work on a Macintosh, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's go ahead and finish this up. Let me hear you So what are my overall impressions of the Sylvania PC encoding USB turntable model STT008 USB-purple? And if you want, you can get them in blue, black, green, or red, kind of a pinkish red. I think for what it does and what I need it for, this is a fine turntable. Let's face it, it is just like a Crosley. Let's face it, it's a cheap Chinese piece of crap. But it's much less a piece of crap than I thought it would be. It plays at the right speed. It's got decent convenience features for what it is. It's light, it's portable, and it isn't trying to be something it's not. There are two kinds of people, or two kinds of buyers that this is aimed for. It's aimed for the nostalgia crowd, and it's aimed at people who want to digitize their audio. For $30, which is what I paid for it on Amazon, you can't go wrong. I don't think the Crosley Cruiser or the Crosley Revolution are worth $60 to $80. Honestly, they're no more than this, and the only thing that they have going for them is the looks. That's it. They do the exact same thing for more money. Now I do have a decent turntable. I have a Pioneer PL990. That's a sound system turntable. I wouldn't use this for that. If you're contemplating using this to plug into your sound system, forget it. It works good with computer speakers. That's what it's for. It's good with headphones. You heard it play Rhapsody in Blue over the attenuator cable. So this thing isn't rocket science. This is not a beast of a turntable. It's not an Audio-Technica ATLP 120. It's not a project. It's not even my Pioneer PL990, which is a mid-range turntable for people who want to get up and running and don't want to spend a lot of money. That turntable is great. This turntable, it brought back a flood of things for me. what we used to do was we used to just sit in our bedroom and spin records. And it didn't matter what they were or, how damaged they were or whatever. We had our mom's turntable. It was a Motorola. Uh, we never changed the stylus, hardly at all. I think we changed it once in the amount of time I've had it. And I wish I had it back, but it's vintage, quote unquote. So it'll cost you. Um, so this is a good alternative to overpriced vintage plastic turntables like the GE Wildcat, or going on to Shop Goodwill and get yourself a Califon turntable is an awesome idea. Also, there were two reasons I bought this turntable. I have records that had been damaged, and I'll show you that after the video ends, kind of like a update or bonus footage. I used the time between shooting scenes for this video to fix these albums. There's about 25 of them. They're not in the best quality. Some of them are warped. I'm going to have to fix the warps. They need more cleaning than I can give them with alcohol or record fluid. So yeah, for what it is, it's great. Does work with a Mac. If it works with a Mac, it probably works with Linux too. So if you're a Linux user and you want to use this turntable to digitize music, I don't think that'll be a problem for you. But yeah, I mean, it was just fun sitting here, spinning records, cleaning stuff up, getting them ready to go. I've got a bag of sleeves that don't work anymore necessarily. They're going to get tossed. So hopefully Amazon has cardboard record sleeves. But if they don't, that's okay. That's cool. I can deal. I went to the thrift store the other night and spent $9 on albums. I've got other albums that my wife and I saved. So yes, this turntable is sufficient if that's what you're going to do. If you're going to add it to your audio system, if you want to use this as your primary turntable, I would pass. Get the Pioneer PL990. The Audio Technica is ATL P60 is a good starter turntable. It's the same mechanism as the Pioneer. The only difference between it and the Pioneer is the Pioneer has a pitch control. The good news is that I understand Pioneer built a motor for the PL990. So, as I said, this review is concluded. I'm very happy with the results. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to, you can subscribe. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. This was kind of fun for me. If you have any other questions, you can leave them in the comments. Or I'm going to be posting this to Amazon too, so as an experiment. So if you're on Amazon and you have any questions there, please just ask the questions in my review. All right? Thanks for watching. See you later. The true purpose for me getting this record player was two reasons. First, I have a ton of records that I acquired when I was working in the storage space in Torrance. I got a box or a bag full of albums. Good ones, by the way. There's Pink Floyd and The Who and John Lennon, and I got Culture Club on the Sylvania right now. The thing is that the state they're in is almost ridiculous. Some of them I've had to clean up extensively. I used this old Radio Shack record cleaner, and I had a bunch of fluid. This is gone now. So what I ended up using is this stuff. This is spray-on electronic grade isopropyl alcohol. It's 99% pure. this is perfect for cleaning these records. It sprays right on, it dries really quickly. You guys saw the way I clean these records. You probably flame me in the comments, but I don't care. The records play. They don't, they seem to be okay. The sleeves and liners are all basically gone. They were trapped outside in a rainstorm at one point, and they got all wet. Now they're all stuck together. Yeah, as soon as I get all this done, I'm going to go on Amazon and get some new liners. I might be able, I don't know if they sell cardboard sleeves for albums in replacement, where you can write on the label. That may not be so important to me, so long as I can get the records in some kind of state where they can be stored. Let me close the lid on the Sylvania. Right here, those are about 15 records I've actually worked on. That top album is Van Halen 2, so I got a lot of good albums in this bag. Down here, I've got some other albums that I got from my father-in-law that my wife and I managed to save. I've got over here, I've got albums that I know are good. The soundtrack for The Stuntman, the soundtrack for Legend from Jerry Goldsmith. So I've got a ton of good albums here. This pile right here is what I'm working on. And let me show you this. This is a Journey album. I'll go down here real quick, and you can see basically what the state of these albums are in. And I know people are going to say, you'll never get that clean. That'll never come out. Well, they're coming out. It's really only surface mold. So I'll get it off, and then I'll play maybe a couple of minutes from each thing. But yeah, it's going pretty good. This Sylvania works pretty awesome for what it is, and it's all I need, really. The other reason that I was going to get this was so that I could take it to the thrift store or the album store and do sampling, because this has a headphone jack. It runs on 4 AA's. I've been playing with it now since I unboxed it for about 2 hours, almost 3 hours, and it hasn't missed a beat. The speed is perfect. Everything seems to be going okay. So this is before I even do any other testing with this. I got a little anxious, and I decided I was going to go ahead and clean my records. So I'll be back soon with some actual testing, and we'll go from there.